Dear students in grade 9, good afternoon. Welcome to our seminar for today, in which we are going to talk about Unit 2. Well, dear students, dear colleagues, let me first introduce my colleagues in the studio who are going to participate me in this seminar. Ms. Ula Al-Mu'i, an English supervisor from Tartus. Good afternoon, Ms. Ula. Welcome to Damascus.
Thank you so
and
much.
Mr. Mazin Abdul Karim, an English teacher in Damascus countryside. Good afternoon, Mr.
Good
Mazin.
afternoon.
Well, dear colleagues, as you know, dear students, our topic for today is about Unit 2. In Unit 2, as you know, we have, dear colleagues,
Storytelling.
let's say a number of texts. We have 2 texts in the student's book and 2 texts in the activity book. As you know, the first text in Unit 2 talks about storytelling. It, let's say, discusses or talks about the history of storytelling, how people used to tell stories in the past, and how we can tell stories nowadays, let's say. Let's make a comparison between the past and now. We should focus on how to tell a story. The contents, dear students, of this text at page, I think...
18.
18, yes. So here, Ms. Ula, let me ask you the first question about this text. How did people use to tell stories in the past? Were there any difficulties? What about this? Can you tell us these things, please?
Okay, thank you. First of all, let's start with how they start telling the story. In Arabic, they used to say kani makan.
Yes.
In English, it's once upon a time.
Yes.
And in the past, they used to tell stories to inform or to educate, to teach, to educate their children. So they usually told stories to teach their children and entertain them at the same time.
Yes.
So this text starts with this idea about how they started telling the stories and what are the purposes of telling the stories. Then it moves to talk about the distances between villages. And because of that, we have different versions of the same story.
You are talking now about some difficulties
some
or the
difficulties,
obstacles.
like
yes.
we have just said. So we have some difficulties that they used to have. Traveling was difficult in the past, and because of that, they didn't have the same versions of the story, even though they were the same stories, but with different versions.
It was the same story,
but with different versions.
But maybe each village
has its own version.
Yes,
exactly.
Very nice.
So after that, they moved to the way they told the stories.
Yes.
For example, women used to sew or do some of their traditional works with their children around them, and they told the stories. About men, they used to gather around fire and they told the stories. And after that, we have something like, simple stories. We are all able to talk or to tell simple stories.
Yes.
But when we talk about very long stories, this one or these ones need professional storytellers. And here we move to storytellers and the ability they have to tell the story, and the techniques, the tools. For example, they used stick for emphasis. When they are talking about a story that is very interesting.
We are going to talk about these things later, Ms. Ula. But the first thing you told us, that when we want to begin a story, in English we say once upon a time.
Yes.
When we want to tell a story in Arabic, we say kani makan.
Exactly.
It's an introduction to anyone to tell a story.
Exactly.
This is number one. Of course, you talked about, let's say, distant places or villages.
And traveling was very difficult.
So it was a journey in which there were, let's say, many dangers,
of course,
risks,
it was
maybe.
Very dangerous
journey. That's why they had different versions. I mean, each village had a different version for the same story, because the villages were, let's say, very far from each other.
Exactly.
Yes, thank you very much. I'd like to ask Mr. Mazin now the second question.
Yes.
What was the purpose of storytelling? You know, here, dear students, we are talking about culture of people. We are talking here about habits, because in the past, as you know, there were no televisions, no radios, nothing. So how did people communicate with each other? What did they used to do when, let's say, sitting after dinner?
Exactly.
What things they used to do after dinner, and they sit around each other's. And of course, there were many things to do in the evening.
Yes.
So what can you tell us, Mr. Mazen?
Yes, in the past,
Yes.
because there were no movies, no
Yes.
radios, no TVs, so the purpose of the telling the story was to entertain. This is the first thing.
So to entertain.
To entertain
Yes.
the audience.
Yes.
Yes. To entertain the family.
Thank you.
The second, to educate. Okay, because the family is very important.
You mean to teach morals?
To teach to
their
give,
kids
yes,
some lessons.
lessons, moral lessons.
Yes, morals.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Thank you. This is the purpose,
The purpose,
of storytelling.
Yes.
Now, why is it surprising, Ms. Ula, that folk stories are similar across the Arab world?
The same idea we were talking about.
You talked about the same
the
idea.
far distances between villages.
Yes.
And the difficulties of traveling.
Very nice.
These causes that
So they used to
it's
tell the
difficult.
same story,
They used to tell the
but
same
each
story, but
one
different
has
versions.
its way, let's say.
Its
that.
way, different
Its way to
versions.
tell the story.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But the story is the same.
The
Yeah.
same,
Or was the same.
but with different way of telling the
Yes.
story and things like
Now, when we talk about professional, Mr. Mazen, storytellers,
Yes.
of course, they use some techniques which may help
Yes.
them to tell the story.
To make it more interesting,
maybe. Yeah.
Yes, to make it more interesting, maybe, I mean the story. What techniques did they use to use
Yes.
when telling a story?
A storyteller used to use, yes, a stick.
A stick.
So to point to something, they used to move their hands, yes, backward and forward, yes.
Yes.
And they used to draw lines on the.
Of course, you mean to attract the
to attract
audience.
the
Body
attention,
language, they
yes,
use body
the
language.
attention,
Yes.
the body language, and they used to use, as you know,
Yes.
their hands to, and sometimes they draw something on the ground.
Very nice.
Yes.
So these were some techniques
Some
or
techniques.
tools they used to tell a story. Maybe to make it more interesting, as you said, Ms.
Exactly.
Ula,
They use their
to
body
make, let's say,
To attract
it
the
more
audience.
attractive,
Exactly.
to attract the audience.
attract,
And some of the techniques as well, they, for example, when they are
Yes.
talking about a moment that is very intense, let's say, they start and drink a sip of tea.
Yes,
They take a moment, and the audience are waiting for something to happen, so they start and drink their tea. So
Very
this
nice.
these are some of their techniques.
so now we know that after telling a story, as you said, Mr. Mazen, there must be a purpose for telling the story.
Of course.
Mr. Mazen said that we tell stories to educate, to
educate,
entertain,
to entertain
our
as
children
well.
and to educate them, to teach them morals. Now, we are talking here about, let's say, stories in the past, or how people in the past used to tell stories and why. What about now, our modern life? Is it the same?
Well, this is a difficult question, actually, you know. About the purposes, they are the same.
Yes.
But I can't imagine a child listening to a storyteller.
Yes.
Because, you know, they follow the YouTube and things like that. So
Yes.
It is considered now something from our folklore.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Let's say
exactly.
that. Something traditional, but it's sometimes very interesting.
In my opinion,
especially
they
maybe
will
in
enjoy it.
Ramadan.
Yes, exactly.
We can say that. We can watch it. We can watch some people or storytellers, professional storytellers,
Yes. In
and we
all Damascus.
enjoyed how they
Yes.
we enjoy how they
Yes, we
tell
do.
stories
We do.
because it is considered, as I said, one of our folklore, something from our folklore, from our history.
Yes.
And
Right.
I think it's going to be interesting for the children as well, because they're going to see something that they have never seen before, maybe.
Yes,
So
yes.
let's encourage
Okay.
parents to
So,
do
dear
that.
students, we hope that this text is or has become clear to you now, and I'd like to do an exercise with my colleagues, in which, of course, we have to use the models. When we talk about modals or auxiliary verbs, dear students, we mean helping verbs. Of course, as you know, helping verbs or auxiliary verbs have two functions. Some of them can be used to form tenses, and others can be used to, let's say, give an expression. For example, if I want to talk about ability or to express ability, to express inability, possibility, etc., we have to use some auxiliary verbs. Here in exercise 3, and of course, thank you very much. In exercise 3, we have, let's say, 6 statements I think they are from the text itself,
Exactly.
from the previous
All
text.
they have to do is to
Here,
copy.
you have to read, dear students, the article again, and to complete these sentences and phrases. Mr. Mazen, let's try to do the first one,
Yes.
please.
Yes. In the past, people were not able to travel easily.
In the past,
Yes.
people
were not able to travel easily.
were not able to travel easily. Of course, there were no vehicles, no cars, no buses, no planes,
No, nothing.
etc. Nothing. So they used maybe to use camels,
Camels.
or horses.
Horses.
Or on
yeah.
foot.
Or on foot.
Yes.
So
They just walk.
that's how they used to travel. So of course there must be a difficulty when traveling. What about number 2, Ms. Ula, please?
Well, number 2, most people were able to tell simple stories.
Most people,
We're not talking about professionals
Yes.
here. Most people were able to tell simple stories.
yes. So they used to learn by heart, right, these stories. Maybe if you ask someone nowadays, we have everything, we have technology between or in hands, so there is no need maybe sometimes to learn by heart,
Yeah.
If
the
it's
story.
a very long story.
Because let's say when we press a button, let's say on
can
our
have
mobile
billions of
phone, we
stories.
can read millions, as you said, of stories. So there is no need maybe for us nowadays to learn by heart. But in the past, there was no technology,
No.
there was nothing. So they used to use their memory, right?
Exactly.
To learn these, or to learn by
Especially
heart
with
these stories.
simple stories, Mr. Bassel. We are all able to tell.
Anyone-
to tell
anyone
simple-
can-
I can tell you about something
can
simple.
tell a
story.
simple story.
Exactly.
A lot of them.
Exactly.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
What about number 3?
But they could not tell long stories. Not all the people in the past could tell long stories.
Good.
And this is the job of storytellers.
Very good.
Yes.
Yes, professional storytellers.
Professional storytellers.
Thank you. Ms. Ola, please.
Number 4 now. In this way, they could have dinner. You know, storytellers, when moving from one village to another,
Yes.
all they have to do is to tell the story, and they can have their food and stay the night
Yes.
somewhere.
Yes.
So this is how they get a living, let's say,
Yes.
by telling a story.
Yes.
So they
But,
can have food and
yes.
stay.
After telling the story.
But
Exactly.
the story has to be very long.
Yes.
Otherwise, they would
can't
not.
stay.
Yes,
You
they,
can't stay the
they
night.
couldn't stay.
Yes, nice to
Yes,
say that.
yes,
Thank you,
yes.
Mr. Mazin. What
Yes.
about number 5 now?
No, professional storytellers could remember incredibly long stories and poems. Yeah, so only
Not only long stories.
yes, and long poems. So only professional storytellers were able to do this.
Number 6.
Number
please,
6,
thank
in
you.
fact, they were able to talk for days.
They were able.
This is a talent, actually.
So here, this exercise, as you can see, dear students, is about how to use some
It's an
modal
introduction.
auxiliary verbs. Could or couldn't,
Yes,
was, were able to, or wasn't able to, or weren't able to. Right?
Exactly.
That's it. Now, of course, we are going to explain
But
the
this is an
difference between
introduction,
them.
only introduction.
When can we use can and could, or
Yes.
couldn't, and when can we use
The other modal verbs.
the other, or weren't able, or were able to.
Yes.
That's it. Let's go on to talk about the second text, dear students. As you know, the second text is
the
at
dwarf.
page 20, and this text, let's say, tells us
A story.
a nice story.
yes.
And this story is about a king. Mr. Mazin, I want you to give us an introduction about the story.
Yes.
What did the king want to do? What did the king ask his people to do? What did he want?
Yes.
Etc. Some
the-
questions.
Yes. The king of the kingdom wanted his kingdom to be great and to have new discoveries. So he sent his servants in the country to look for a top scientist.
Good.
Yes. The scientists came into his palace. The king welcomed them, but he did not want any scientist. He wanted the top scientist
Good.
who
He didn't want any scientist.
No.
He wanted the top
top,
scientist.
the best
What
one.
do you mean by the top scientist.
An expert.
An expert.
Yes. He has a lot
He must
of
have a good experience.
experience,
Yes.
qualities, talented,
Yes.
and he has a lot of experience
Very nice.
to solve the problems.
That's it. Thank you very much. Now, after telling or asking his people to look for the top scientist, what happened, Ms. Ula?
He introduced the task, the mission, which was to open a huge door without any help. And here comes the solutions they suggested. We have many scientists, and they suggested some of the solutions. Because he was looking for one certain scientist, he needed a scientist that is imaginative, decisive, and courageous. And he needed these qualities in his scientist. So he introduced a task, which is opening the huge door.
Yes.
Okay, so we have groups. The first one suggested that...
Now let's talk about the first scientist.
Okay.
What happened to the first scientist?
The
What
first,
did he say?
Yes, the first group looked at the door. They were frightened because it is very huge. It is very much huge. So from the first look, they say it must be as heavy as many doors, so we cannot do anything.
We cannot open this
We cannot
door.
open it.
It's impossible
Impossible.
They gave up.
to open
Yes.
such a big door.
Yes,
Yes. So this is the first thing.
the first group.
Now, so some of the scientists, you say, immediately said, we
It's
cannot
helpless.
open such a big door.
It's
impossible.
Exactly.
What else, Ms. Ula?
Okay, about the second group, they suggested that the king should employ them all, so that they can open the door.
Yes.
And the king doesn't want them all. He wants one or a few courageous and clever
Yes.
scientists. So he said them, I'm sorry, you should leave, because you are not the ones I'm looking for.
So, and they sat and argued about this thing. They talked about mechanical
Theories and things like
but
that.
in the end, they got together
again
and told the king
gave up.
it's impossible.
It's
Impossible.
impossible. Again,
Yes.
one way or another, it's impossible.
So all of them maybe
Gave up.
left,
Exactly.
except one.
Except
One
one.
sentence.
The last group
What
was,
happened to the last scientist? What did he
Yes.
do, Mr. Mazen?
The last scientist, he was clever, so he went into the door, he measured it, and he took a deep breath, and he pushed the door, so it opened. And he could solve the problem. So the problem was very easy, but
they didn't even
they
try.
didn't try. You have to try.
So you mean the last scientist examined the door, very closely, and he measured it,
yes,
tapped it, and he touched it,
yes,
and he knew the problem maybe,
yes.
right? So there was no problem.
No problem
He
at all.
took a deep breath and pushed the door gently, and it opened. So you see, what can we understand, Ms. Ula,
In my opinion,
from this experience, from this story? What, I mean, morals we can get
okay, we have
from this story?
so many lessons to learn
That's it.
from
This
this
is what
one.
I want.
The first one is, my opinion, is that he had to try something. He wasn't just
Instead
thinking.
of saying no,
No, exactly.
I can't,
He
you
made
should
an
try.
action. Exactly.
You should try. So
Do
please,
something.
dear students, that's
Yes.
it. We want you to try. Don't
Try,
say,
exactly.
I can't do it. It's impossible to do
Yes.
it. Try to do something first.
The first
you should try.
Yes,
You should
the first
try.
step
Yes.
is to try.
Yes.
So you can solve any problem.
Thank you. What else?
He depended on his senses. So he felt that there's something wrong about this issue, and he did something. So he believed in himself and his senses.
That's
So-
it. He believed in himself.
in his
It's
ability,
very
yes,
important
yes.
to believe in yourself.
Self-confidence.
Very important to know that you have abilities and you can do, let's say, a lot of things in
Exactly.
reality or in life. So depend on yourself, trust yourself, be sure that you can do a lot, dear students. This is the lesson, or the
And
second
the first
lesson.
step is the first
Mr.
step.
Mazen, do you have something else?
Yes, you must be courageous. You have to be courageous enough to do the first try. Otherwise, you will not be able to do anything in your life.
Very nice.
Yes.
So let's try to conclude everything now, or
Yes.
to conclude the story, or the morals from this story. I think the last paragraph
Exactly.
contains
Everything.
nice words.
Exactly.
It says success in life depends on 5 things,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You must depend on your senses to understand the world
Yes.
around you.
Yes.
You mustn't make false
Assumptions.
assumptions, and you must make difficult decisions sometimes. You must be courageous, and you mustn't be afraid to make mistakes.
It's
This
okay.
is
Everyone makes
yes.
mistakes.
This is
It's not
Mr.
a shame.
Basil, the most important things for our dear students,
Yes.
because some students are afraid of committing mistakes in classes, and
Yes.
this is wrong. We have to encourage them to solve, to do their homework
Good.
in class, at home, so that when they come into the exam, they have nothing or no fear, or
Yes.
they are able to do anything.
Thank you very
So
much.
it's okay
Yes.
to make
Now,
mistakes.
dear students, we hope that the 2 texts are very clear now to you. Now, let's move on to talk about something which I think is very important, the modals, or we call them modal auxiliary verbs, or we can say helping verbs. Now, as you can see on the screen, dear students, we are going to discuss a lot of things with you to explain, let's say, the most important, or all modal auxiliary verbs, the function of each one, the form of modal auxiliaries, expressing ability, can and could, expressing possibility, may and might, expressing permission, using could to express possibility, etc. A lot of things. Miss Ula, I'd like to start with you. When we want to, let's say, express ability, when we want to tell others that we are able to do something, to express ability. For example, if I ask you, can you drive?
Yes, I can.
I can drive. Me too. Can you drive, Mr. Mazin?
Yes, I can
We
drive.
can drive.
But
You
I
see,
couldn't
we can
drive.
drive. So we use can to
For
express ability.
ability.
When we say, for example, the ceiling is too high, I can't touch the ceiling. So I can't. It's an inability. So we use can't to express inability, and so on. That's how we, dear students, use the auxiliaries. But Miss Ula is going to give us more information. I'd like to start, please.
To start with, let's give an example of the modal
Yes.
verb. For example, somebody should clean up the mess.
Yes.
Should is another example of the modal verbs. To start with, we should talk about the form of modal verbs. What is the form of modal verb? So we use the auxiliary or modal verb and simple form of the verb. It's followed
Yes.
by the simple form.
Yes.
We can have a few examples.
Somebody should clean up this
The
mess.
mess.
Okay. What?
Now about the form of auxiliary
Yes.
verbs. We should pay attention that after using the modal verbs, we use the simple form of the verb. So
For
it's not
example?
ing, not s, not ed, not. For example, can. Inga, this is a name, can play the violin. Can. Could, they couldn't arrive on time. May, it may be a nice day tomorrow. And might, it might be a nice day tomorrow.
Good.
Okay, we can have many examples that show that we can use the simple form of the verb. Should, had, better, must, these are examples. We can have practice. We can practice to see,
Okay.
Yeah.
but after Mr.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mazin can say something
Okay,
about
Mr. Mazin.
Yes.
Now, Ms. Ula talked about the models and how we should use them. I mean, the form of the verb which comes after the modal
Yes.
auxiliary
simple
verb.
verb.
You said that we should use the infinitive,
Exactly.
the zero form.
Exactly.
After modals, we should use zero form, no addition at all.
At all.
Here
Errors.
on the screen, we have can, could. Mr. Mazin, you can read them, please.
Yes. We have auxiliary plus simple form of the verb. So they are not followed by two.
Yes.
You cannot say in English, Ali can to play the violin. We should say, or we must say, Ali can play the violin.
Without two.
Without two.
Very good.
Yes. Number two, no final S. Dear student, you know that in the simple present, when we have he or she or it, we use the S. Yes, he goes to school, he plays, but when we have a modal verb, we mustn't use S, so we say Inga, it's a name, can play the violin. Igna, we can't say Igna can plays the violin, so this is incorrect.
Good.
Also, they are modal verbs are not followed by ed form, so we cannot say he can played the violin.
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
Yes.
We should say he can play the violin. So the zero form or the base of the form
Only the zero form must be used.
must be used.
Yes.
At all
What
times.
else? I think there is another rule.
Yes.
The ing form,
Yes.
maybe.
They are modal verbs are not followed also by ing form. So we cannot say Inga can playing tennis. We should say, or the violin, Inga can play the violin.
Yes.
Yes. So no ing, no s, no to.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Now, maybe Ms. Ula is going to talk about
We can have a
something else.
practice.
Yes, why not? Here we have, what about other auxiliary verbs, Mr. Mazin? I think we have to,
Yes.
or have got to,
Yes.
or ought to.
Yes.
These auxiliary verbs
Need to.
need to.
Yes, because
They used to. We have to use to after them.
Comes with the verb.
Yes, for example, you have to eat something.
Exactly.
yes.
I can't say I have eat something.
Yes.
I
not
have
added.
to eat something.
Yes.
He has got to be
Yes.
on time.
For example,
It
also,
ought to be fun.
Yes.
So here we
It's
have
part-
to use
it's
to
part of
because
the-
the
it's part
simple form.
because it's part of the verb.
Yes,
So
it's
have
part-
to. Oh.
yes.
So students, for example, students have to wear black shoes to school.
Yes.
So here we must use to because it's part of the verb.
So, Mr. Mazin, we can say, dear students, you should use the zero form without to. We call it bare infinitive,
Yes.
without to,
Yes.
after modals,
After modals.
except
Except.
three verbs.
Have
Except
to.
three verbs. Have to,
Ought to.
have got to,
And
ought to.
ought to.
These verbs take to.
To.
Part of
Because
the
it's
verb. Very
part.
simple
Yes,
form.
because it's part of the
Yes,
verbs.
thank you very much.
Yes.
And here we have a practice now.
Okay.
Yes.
For example, she has learned how to skate.
Yes.
She has learned. Okay, this is a modal verb because without something, it's to or without anything. We need to use to.
Should we use to or not?
We should use to
We
because
should use to,
otherwise
yeah.
it's going to be an auxiliary verb and should be followed by past participle.
Yes. So here she has to learn
She has to learn.
how to skate.
Yes.
She has to learn.
Because
we
she
have
can't
to use
skate
to.
on her own, she has to learn before
you. Thank you.
skating.
Thank you.
Another example, might. Might. Does might need to or not? No, it doesn't.
I think it doesn't. Yes,
It doesn't,
you're right.
I think.
Okay.
Yes, so she might learn to skate and should. With should, we shouldn't use to as well.
Yes, there is no to.
No to. Another example, I can't believe that. I can't. Again, we can say that it's without to.
Yes.
So, and the examples are important to show students that we can use different modal verbs with the same sentence. The point is what we mean to deliver,
Yes.
what we mean to say.
Yes.
So the same sentence, but with different modal verbs.
Good.
So it's sometimes okay to change.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's everything, Mr. Saula?
For now, yes.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Mazin,
Yes.
I talked about ability.
Yes.
I talked about how to express ability, and
Yes.
you said that we have to use can and could
Yes.
to express ability.
Yes.
Maybe when can we use can
Yes.
and when can we use could?
Yes.
That's it. So please, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Yes. We use can when we have present or future.
Yes.
For example, dolphins can jump very high. So this is about present. They can swim long distances. We are talking about dolphins. They can be taught fancy tricks. So we can use can to express ability in the present.
Or facts.
Or facts. Yes, facts.
Facts.
Yes,
So
dolphin
there
can
is no
swim.
time, no fixed time.
No fixed
We are
Exactly.
talking in general.
In
In general, timeless.
Exactly.
Timeless.
Yes. So dolphins can jump very high at any time.
Yes.
They can swim long distances at any time. They can be taught fancy tricks at
They
any
have-
time.
they-
So
they
here
have
you
these
said
abilities.
we are talking about a present or a fact about, let's say,
Yes.
we are telling facts about dolphins. So there is no need to use the past.
Either
Right, we
present
use the
or-
present.
Or the
The
future.
present.
Very nice. So can here ability in present or future, not only present.
Yes, future.
Thank
For
you.
example, I can help you.
Yes, I can help you at any time. I mean, I can help you now, I can help you tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
I can help you next year, etc. At any time you want.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you very much. What else?
We can express ability or ability by using can. We can express inability
Yes.
by using can't or cannot or cannot. So it has three forms of the negative. So we can say, I can't fix the computer, or I cannot fix the computer, or I cannot fix the computer.
You mean here we have different pronunciation and at the same time maybe different forms.
Forms, yes.
The full form
It's formal.
is cannot.
Yes.
Two words here. Cannot, maybe we can consider them one word, Mr. Lam.
Of course.
And we can use the short form, as you said, can't.
Yes.
So here we can say I can't fix, or I cannot fix, or I cannot fix. So you have to notice, dear students, how we should pronounce
Yes.
each one of them.
Exactly.
So three negative forms of can. Thank you, Mr. Mazin.
Now, to express ability in the past,
Yes.
we use could. For example, when we were in college, we could play chess for hours. So now I'm talking about ability in the past.
When we were in college, so
Yes.
here, where is in the past.
In the past.
So I'm talking here about when I was in college.
yes.
In the past, we could play chess for hours.
Yes.
So we use here could instead of
To-
can
yes,
because we are talking about something
You asked me, for
in the
example,
past.
about driving the car. I told
Yes.
you that I can drive a car, but I couldn't drive a car when I was 10 years old. for
Very
example.
nice. When I was 10 years old, I couldn't,
Exactly.
or I wasn't able to drive a car.
drive a
I
car.
can say that.
Of course.
Okay. Before we go on, I think we have a call from Usama. Good afternoon, Usama.
Hello.
How are you, Usama?
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay. Usama, you are in grade 9, right?
Now?
You are in grade 9?
Yes.
Very nice. Where do you live, Usama? In
my
Damascus?
Yes.
Good. What's your question? What do you want, Usama? Your question, please. Your question.
What is the difference between should and must?
Should and
Must.
must. Should
Yes.
and must.
Okay.
Very nice. Okay, Mr. We are going, of course, Usama, to explain should and to explain must. We are going to talk about them. But
Yes.
here, Mr. Mazin can answer you, please.
Yes.
In short.
In short,
Yes.
we use should when we have advice. For example, you should study. Now I'm advising you to study. We must use should. For example, you are sick. I say you should go to the doctor. But must when we have something which is necessary. Yes.
Obligation.
Obligation. Yes.
Obligation.
You are obliged to do something. For example, you must study hard because you have an exam tomorrow. So here I'm not advising you, I'm obliging you. Yes.
Very nice. So it depends on the speaker.
Speaker.
himself.
The
meaning.
speaker.
And the intention of the
Exactly.
speaker.
the
Yes.
intention, the
Sometimes
message
I'd like to give you an advice.
Yes.
A piece of advice, sorry. Not an advice, a piece of advice, sorry.
Yes.
So we say, you should study, you should sleep well.
Maybe when we are friends, you can use should.
Yes.
But when I am your parent, for example,
Your-
I
your
won't use
teacher.
should. I'm your teacher.
I
the
have the
doctor.
decision.
Of course,
I-
you
I
must
can
study.
oblige you.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes, when I feel that I can oblige you.
So it depends
Yeah.
on the.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay,
person.
Usama?
A.
Everything is clear? Usama,
Yes.
instead of A, say yes. Okay? Goodbye, Usama. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. It was very nice from Usama to call us and ask us about
Should.
these two
Yes.
auxiliary verbs. Let's continue, Mr. Mazin.
Yes.
You were talking about could in the past.
Yes. To express inability in the
Yes.
past, we use couldn't.
Yes.
I couldn't play chess in graduate school. I had to study all the time.
Yes.
So here we are using couldn't to express inability in the past. Yes.
I had to study all the time. There,
Yes.
I didn't have enough time maybe
Yes.
to play chess, so I couldn't play
Yes.
chess. Okay, why not?
Yes.
What else?
Yes.
Here we have a practice, maybe.
I like practicing.
Okay, why
So
not?
we
Miss
can
Ura?
work with
Miss Ura
practice.
can
Yes,
do
we can
this
talk about the
exercise.
practice.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I can do that.
Thank you.
He's always upset when he remembers something. Okay, when would you get upset?
He's always upset, of course, when he can't.
He can't remember.
When I can remember something,
You will get upset.
I don't get.
Of course, when you remember.
Upset.
Yes,
But when I can remember something, I feel happy.
of course.
Right?
But I have a good memory.
Yes.
But when I
So-
forget or when I
Yes.
can't
So here,
remember something, I
yes.
feel upset.
Upset. What does it mean here?
It means the inability to do something. I'm not able
It's
to
a feeling.
remember. It's a feeling, very bad
It's not a
feeling.
good feeling.
Not a good feeling,
Upset.
not
And
at
not
all.
Upset, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now back to the dolphins. A dolphin run, but it can't. Is it a dolphin?
I don't think that a dolphin has legs to
no.
run.
And it's
Does a
difficult
dolphin
to,
have legs?
They don't have legs, and
No.
it's difficult to run under
So
the
a
water.
dolphin, I think, can't run.
Can't run, but it jump.
It can.
It can jump.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, another example. Again, we are using can and can't, and it's used in the nice great book. You bring your horse to water, but this is like a
Proverb.
quote
It's
or
a
something.
proverb.
Exactly.
It's a very
But
well-known
you
proverb.
make him drink it.
So you can bring a horse
You
to
can
water.
bring
We
it to
can.
water.
To can bring
Anyone
it to,
can.
to a lake.
But you can't force him.
You can't make him drink it.
Okay, it's difficult to
Can't
force.
force
Yes.
the horse to drink
To
water
drink, exactly.
if it doesn't want it. Okay.
We have the auxiliary verb maybe, may. Maybe Alice heard some bad news because look at her picture. She doesn't look happy.
Oh, yes.
So she
I
maybe
can see
she
that.
had heard something very
Yes,
bad.
Yes.
Again, we can look at the picture and say something about it. For example, this could be a long walk. Okay.
Thank you. Now, that's everything about
Examples.
or about the
practice
practice. The practice. You like practice.
I
Okay.
like practicing.
Mr. Mazi, now
Yes.
we have some modal verbs.
Yes.
Of course, maybe they are not mentioned in grade 9, but
Yes.
they are mentioned
In-
later on
Yes.
in grade 10, grade
11.
11 and grade 12.
So they're going to
Okay,
use
it's
it.
okay to teach them because we are here teaching
Language.
the language, which
Yes.
is English. We are teaching grammar or English grammar. So I think it would be very nice to mention
To
it
mention
and
that,
how
yeah.
we can use them and why we
Yes.
use them. Mr. Mazin, please.
Yes. Number one, we have may and might.
Yes.
We use may and might for possibility. For example, it may snow this week. It may snow tomorrow. So it's possible to snow tomorrow. We can use also might. They are interchangeable.
Now, before we go on, Mr.
Yes.
Mazin,
Yes.
some students get, let's say,
Confused.
when they know that might is, let's say, the past form of may.
May. Yes.
So they think that when we want to talk about past, we
We
should
can't
use
use it.
might. So what can you tell us here? You said that may and might are the same,
Yes.
and they can be
Exactly.
used to talk about something in the present, even might, the second form of may.
Yes.
We can use it instead
the-
of may
yes.
to talk about the present, not about the past.
Of course.
Yes. Of course.
So,
But it means something else
yes, thank you, Mr.
this way.
Yes,
Yes, so
Okay.
we can use may and might to talk about the present. But if we want to talk about the past, we have to use might
yes,
only.
When we use might, the possibility is less
yes,
because it's in the past, and we usually mention the past when the possibility is a little
Exactly.
bit less.
exactly. Let's go on. May, might express possibility.
Yes,
We use them to express
Possibility.
to say that it is possible.
It may rain
It-
because we have
It is
clouds.
possible
maybe.
to snow this week.
Possible.
It is possible.
yes.
Yes,
But it
that's
might
it.
because it's sunny, for example.
Yes, yes.
The possibility is less.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mazin, please.
Yes. Also, we have another example.
Can we?
Can we finish this by Monday? I don't know. We might be ready by then.
or may be ready.
Yes, we
We
may
may be ready by then or might be
ready. Yes,
by
both
then.
are correct.
They are the same here.
The same.
Good.
Negative form, the negative form of may not, and might not. Example, it might not snow this week.
It may not snow this
It
week.
may
and
not.
it might not.
Yes, it
This-
might not snow this week.
So the negative form
Doesn't have
is
contraction.
may not or might not. We have no
Contraction.
contractions, no
So
short
we,
forms.
No short. We cannot say it may not snow this week.
Yes.
We have to say each word separately.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you
It
very
may
much.
not snow this week.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Now we have something else, which is, I think, very different.
Yes.
Maybe. What about maybe? Not may be. Maybe here is one word, so it's not an auxiliary verb.
Yes.
I think we should focus on it.
Yes.
Because sometimes, again,
A
some
lot of
students
Get
get
confused.
confused
Yes.
when they deal with this adverb. Here it's an adverb, it's not an auxiliary verb.
Yes.
Maybe as one word, not may be. We are going to focus on them.
Yes.
We have more examples about them. Mr. Mazin, please.
Yes, as you said, maybe as one word is different from may be, which is two words. The first one, maybe, is an adverb.
Yes.
So we cannot use it as a model. We have to use it with some verbs. Maybe, example, maybe it will snow tomorrow. So here we are using maybe as an adverb. Number two, maybe the test will be hard. So maybe, possibly.
It means possibly.
Yes, the beginning
So-
of the sentence.
Yes.
Usually we use it at
As
the
adverb.
beginning of the sentence. But if we want to use may be, which is the model with be, and as
Be is the verb here
Yes,
in the
be.
last example, and
May
may
is
is
the modal
an
verb.
Yes.
auxiliary verb.
yes, students should know that we use be after models
Yes.
if we have, for example, an adjective,
Yes.
a noun, yes,
Etc.
etc.
We should use the simple form
The simple
or the
form.
zero form of the verb.
Yes.
And here we have a zero form,
Yes,
which is be.
be. The test,
Right.
example, the test may be hard. So here we are using a modal verb.
So here we have two separate words,
Yes.
not
Maybe.
one word.
Yes.
Here may is an
The
auxiliary
main
verb.
verb. Yes, it's the main
Exactly.
verb.
Thank
So when
you.
it's one word, it's an adverb. When it's two words, we have a modal verb.
Yes. So maybe here, dear students, means, as Mr. Mazin said, possibly. When we begin a sentence with maybe as one word, we mean possibly.
Yes.
Thank you. What else, Mr. Mazin?
Expressing possibility, we can use may and might to express possibility.
I think we have a call from Haneen. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Let's stop for a minute. Haneen, good afternoon.
Hi.
How are you, Haneen?
I'm fine.
You're calling us from Damascus, right?
Yeah.
You are in grade 9. Right? You are in
Yeah.
grade 9, Haneen. I'm sure that you have a question. What is your question, Haneen?
About model.
بدي أعرف شو
In English, please. In English.
In English, honey.
Can you talk in
sorry,
English?
sorry.
Huh? The difference?
I want to know what is the verb after the model.
Thank you. I can understand you. Haneen wants to know, Miss Ula,
The verb we use
what
after
is
the modal
or
verb.
what form should we use after the modal auxiliary verb? I mean, after must, after should, after may, any auxiliary verb.
have just said
What
that.
I think we have just
Maybe they
mentioned
might
it.
have,
What can you
expressed
tell
that.
her, Miss
Okay,
Ula?
we use the base form, the bare form, the zero form of the verb. So we shouldn't add ing, we don't add ed, no, nothing. We add nothing to the verb, the base form of the verb. Simple
The zero
form.
form, Haneen, okay?
Okay.
We should
Okay.
use the zero
This
form.
one.
No
Okay.
addition at all. No S, no ED, no
No
ing,
ing.
nothing. After auxiliary verbs or the modal auxiliary verbs, we should use the
Okay.
zero form.
zero
Is it clear?
Zero form. Okay. Merci.
Thank you, thank you,
Thank you,
thank you, thank you,
Thank
Haneen. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye, thank you. Nice call again. Well, dear students, let's continue. We have something else to tell, then we can, after this, we can have a short break. But let's go on, Mr. Ramazan.
Yes.
You were talking about what is more formal and what is less formal.
Yes.
Ah.
For
You may borrow my pen.
Yes. To express possibility, we have the formal model, which is may. For example, expression we use may.
So when we use may is more formal.
Formal,
But I can say,
you can say can.
you can borrow my pen if you
Yes.
like.
You can take
Here,
my pen.
I can talk to my friend,
Yes.
and here, when I want to talk to my friend, we use can,
Yes.
not me.
In everyday language,
It is less formal because it is less formal. The relationship between you and your friend,
Not formal.
it is, or he is your close friend. So there is no need to talk or to speak with him, let's say, in a formal way.
Exactly.
Right?
So we use can for permission in informal language. For example, you can borrow my pen, and in formal English we can use may. You may borrow my pen.
Thank you very much. Dear students, before we go on, I think it's time for a short break, but let me remind you, you can call us using the phone numbers shown at the bottom of the screen. We will be ready to answer your questions. Dear students, let's have a short break, then we can go back. Thank you. Welcome back, dear students. Hello again to our English seminar for today. As you know, before the break, we were talking about Unit 2. We were talking about the modal auxiliary verbs mentioned in Unit 2 in grade 9. Dear students, before the break, Mr. Mazin was talking about how to use may and how to use can, or the difference between these two modal auxiliary verbs. You can continue, Mr. Mazin.
Expressing permission, you may not borrow my pen. You cannot borrow my pen. May deny permission, can often used to.
So when I say I may not, or you may not borrow my pen.
You're not
so
allowed.
here I'm not allowing you.
Yes.
I'm not allowing you to take
Yes.
my pen.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Good. Deny permission.
Yes. Deny permission, we use may and not, or can.
At the same time, we can use can.
Can.
You can't use my ruler.
Yes.
You can't use my mobile phone.
Yes.
It's not allowed.
Forbidden.
Yes, forbidden. Thank you. Now, you like practice, Ms.
Yes.
Ula. I think it's your turn.
No.
Not your turn.
It's his practice
Okay.
this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
I may be done with this project tomorrow. Maybe or maybe. What must we use?
Yes.
We must use the modal verb. I may be done with this project tomorrow. Also practice space. I will be done with this project tomorrow. Maybe or maybe.
Here, the space is at the beginning,
At the beginning.
of the sentence.
Yes.
So it must be an adverb,
So-
not an auxiliary verb.
Yes.
Maybe I'll be done with
Yes.
this project
It's one
tomorrow.
word.
So
It
we
means
cannot,
possibly.
yes, we cannot use may and be as separate words. We have to use the adverb maybe.
One word.
One word.
Yes.
Yes, the boss told me that we can maybe use the new color printer.
Good.
Maybe or can. Here we have to use can.
can use.
We can use. We cannot use maybe
Yes, of
because
course.
it's an adverb. It's
Yes,
not
yes.
at the beginning of the
Yes,
sentence.
yes, thank you very much.
Also,
Using could now to express possibility, right?
yes, it's
Here.
your turn.
Yes,
Yes,
now,
thank you.
we use could to express possibility. For example, why isn't this working? I don't think it's serious. Serious, it means something like dangerous. It could be just a weak battery. Could be. This is a possibility. Possibly
Yes.
this is a weak battery. So
Present
we could
possibility.
use present possibility.
Even could is in the second form, in the past.
The second
but
form,
we can
but
use
it's
it
present
to
possibility.
talk about present possibility, not about past possibility.
Because it's possibility.
It could be a
Could
weak
be.
battery. Your battery is not working in your car,
Could
maybe.
be. Not
it
very
could
serious.
It could be old. It could be
example, it needs to be
a bad
charged.
battery, a weak battery, etc. So it is a present possibility.
Present possibility, or even we can use it for future possibility.
Yes.
For example, this error could cause problems in the whole company. It will cause in the future. So could be used for present and future possibility with these examples.
Very nice.
Back to you, Mr.
Yes.
Moses.
Let's practice. Present or future. I would like to visit a beautiful place. So
This error maybe could cause
Yes.
problems in the whole company. Slide number 33. 33, is it 33?
no.
It's not with you.
I think I've read it
It's
before.
okay, I'll read it. This error, it is shown on the screen here.
Yes.
This error could cause problems in the whole company. So here could maybe
For
is
future
used here to
possibility.
talk
I
about
have just
future
said that,
possibility.
okay.
Yes.
So we can use could to talk about present possibility,
And
Or
future.
and we
future.
can use it to talk about a future possibility.
It's very formal.
This error could cause problems in the future.
In the future
The whole
for the
company.
company.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Now slide number 34.
Yes.
Is it with you?
Yes.
Oh,
I would
okay.
like to visit a beautiful place. We could go to Thailand. So here I'm talking about the future. I'm not talking about present. We could go to Thailand. In the future, we could go to Thailand.
Yes. So here we are talking about the future,
Yeah,
not
sure.
about the present.
Yes.
Yes, you're right.
Yes.
Thank you. What else?
Oh no, this could be a problem. Also
Yes.
here, it expresses the future.
Thank you.
The car doesn't run. The battery could be dead. So here we are not talking about the
The
future.
future, about a present
A
situation.
present situation. Now
So-
I'm talking about the car,
Yes,
and its battery could be dead.
very nice.
Now,
Okay,
the
Ms.
polite questions.
Okay.
How to be polite when
You mean
when
we can
asking for
use,
something.
dear students, these modal auxiliary verbs to, let's say, make questions.
Questions,
polite
but request, let's say.
Requests,
Polite request,
requests.
yes. Instead of saying, can I use your mobile phone, for example.
When I want something from someone else.
You have to be polite. So you are always polite,
Of course.
Mr. Mazen. I'm talking about the...
Yes, thank you.
May I help you? May I help you, for example? May I help you? So may is for a polite question. Example, we have different examples. Polite questions. May I please take your picture? May I please take your picture? This is very polite. Could I please take your picture? May and could, these are more polite than using can. Can I please, this please makes it polite. Can I please take your picture? So possible answers, of course, yes, of course, okay, certainly, why not, etc.
Many answers.
Many answers, of
Many expressions can be used here.
Exactly.
So we have different ways to make requests.
Requests.
We can use different auxiliary verbs or
Exactly.
modal auxiliary verbs. We can use may I, could I, can I, right?
Yes.
And
Of course, may is more polite than could,
Yes,
and
yes.
could is more polite than can.
thank you. Before we go on, we have another call from Ala. Ala from Damascus. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, Ala. Ala. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Good afternoon.
Good
How are
afternoon.
you? Good afternoon. How
I am
are you?
fine.
Good. You want to ask a question. What is your question, Ala?
What is the difference between big apple to and cold?
I'm so sorry. Will you please repeat again?
Able to and could.
Was able to.
Was able to and
Could.
And cold.
and could. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Mazen will talk to you.
Okay. Well,
In short.
In short,
Yes.
we use could and were able to. Both are used in the past symbol, the simple past form.
Yes.
So I was, but you know the difference between was able or were able and could is that was able and were able are used in when we have one occasion. For example, I was riding the horse. I couldn't. It was just
You mean there must be a problem?
a problem.
And if there is a problem
Able
and
to.
we could, let's say, solve it,
Yes.
we can use was able to
Yes.
instead of could, right?
Yes.
This is what you mean, Mr. Mazen.
One occasion.
One occasion.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not ability, general ability.
It's not general, something
Yes.
general.
Yes.
Yes.
So
A specific occasion.
a specific occasion.
Mr. Ula, would you
Okay.
like to tell something else?
This is the one.
Is it clear, Ala?
so specific
Okay,
occasion
okay.
or
Okay.
there is difficulty?
Thank you.
We are going to talk about it in details later on.
Later on.
So please follow us, okay? Be with us.
Okay.
Thank you. Good luck. Goodbye.
So
Okay.
we were saying that we can use may, could, and can to ask a polite question. So we can form it this way: May I please take your picture, or may I take your picture, please?
Yes.
So using the word may, could, and can with a please, make it a polite question.
May I please, could I please, can I please, or may I take your picture, please?
At the end of the sentence.
Could
the
I
question.
take your picture, please?
Exactly.
Can I take your picture,
It's
please?
the same. It's
It
the
is a
same.
song,
It's-
by the
okay.
way.
I like
Okay.
it.
What else? So please at the end here.
At the end.
Good.
And it's the same.
Very nice. So what else?
Also, we can use may, could, and can for polite question. May I take you a picture? Could I take you a picture, or can I take you a picture?
Good. Without please.
Without a please. So here we.
But maybe when we
Please
use
is
please,
more-
It's
going to be answered.
More polite.
More polite.
Yes.
To use
And
please.
they will say yes this way.
Of course.
Okay. Now let's practice.
Why not?
Yes.
We have
Can
a car here.
yes. You have to answer yes or correct or incorrect. Can I please borrow your car?
No.
Miss?
Difficult question. Okay.
Can I borrow your
Okay.
car, Mr.
Very difficult
Bassel?
question.
Why not?
I will answer
You
no
are my
with no.
close, let's say, dear colleague. Why not? It's okay.
So-
Can I please borrow your car? Is it correct?
Okay, why not?
So here we have can I,
Can I?
and we have please.
Please, of course.
So I think it
It's
is
polite.
It's
Correct.
correct.
It's correct.
Yes.
yes.
But I won't let you lend you my car. So
Okay. The second one. May I borrow your car? What do you think, Ms. Ula? Is it correct?
it's correct. The same. Without please, it's okay.
Okay.
Because may is polite as well.
Yes.
Also, could I borrow, please, your car? Is
No,
it correct?
Please is not placed in the right place.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So
here-
could I please?
Could I borrow please is wrong.
We
Why?
should say,
Because
could I please borrow
Could I
your car?
please borrow? So
or
please
could I
must
borrow
be
your
used
car,
before the
please?
main verb.
Or at the end.
Or at the end.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, why not? Let's go on.
Yes.
Now-
we have would you, could
Would
you.
is more polite as well. Would you please sit still? Again, with polite questions, we could use would, could, will, and can. And again, some of them is more polite than the others, are more polite than the others. So would you please explain? Could you please, will, and can. And again, we can use please, would you please. We have the polite answers, yes, of course, sure, certainly, etc.
Good.
Would you please explain that again?
So all these model auxiliaries
Exactly, but
have the
we
same
can
meaning.
But
Would you, could you, will you,
Exactly.
can you, the same
But
meaning.
Mr.
Yes, the
Bassel, you
same.
can see that now we use would you. We use the subject you. The
Yes.
pronoun you is used now. We can't use may you, because may
course.
when you talk about yourself.
Yes.
May I?
May I?
Okay,
Yes.
But not may you. So with these words we should use you, would you, could you, will you, can you, but we can't say may you.
Yes.
Excellent.
And we can have an exercise for you, Mr. Mazen. Could you wash my car yesterday?
Choose a polite answer.
Yes.
One of the answers here.
Yes, correct.
Yes, of course,
course.
certainly,
Yes.
okay,
Of course.
I'd be glad to. I'm sorry, I don't have time.
I didn't have time.
Or it's okay. So, different polite answers, many,
Okay,
a lot of them.
but this one is not a request. That's the problem. Okay, so could you, it's not
Could
a
you
request.
wash
I'm
my
not
car
asking,
yesterday? It's wrong.
I'm not asking you a request now.
Yes.
It's not a request. Could you wash? I'm not.
I was talking about the slide before this one.
I know. I'm asking about the ability. Were you able to wash the car? So it's not a request. It's not a question.
So it's
Yes.
incorrect.
Incorrect. It's incorrect. Another one. Will you wash my car, please?
No.
This is a request.
A request,
This
and
is a
it's
question.
correct,
Will you
yes.
please?
Yes, it's correct.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay. Now we can again different one. May you please wash my car? Again, this is may you, not may I. So
it's incorrect.
It's incorrect.
So we can't use may with the
With
you. We should
Yes.
could or would.
exactly.
Yes.
Will you, could you? Yes.
That's it for
Yes.
this part.
Thank you. Now, we have something else, Mr. Mazin. We have should.
Yes,
And ought to.
As you know, if we want to express advice, to give a piece of advice to someone, we can use should or ought to. So both are correct. Example: they should go home and get some rest.
Yes.
For example, they are tired, so we say they should go home and get some rest.
Very nice.
Expressing advice and also should, and this is about we use symbol form, as
But
you know.
both of them,
are
let's say, express something here.
Advice.
Advice.
advice, yes.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Ought to and
Oh.
should.
And we can add had better.
In this
maybe
sense.
later.
Yes.
Yes.
The idea is that the student should know that if something is a good idea, it's good idea to do it. We use should. It's not good idea to do it. We can use shouldn't.
Of course. I have a headache.
I have headache. I should take a nap, or I ought to take a nap.
Both of them are correct,
Yes.
of course.
I should to take a nap is incorrect.
Because we have to use the zero form without
Of course,
to
Yes.
without
after
to.
should.
Only
Yes.
with have to, has to.
Yes, Ms. Zola. I ought taking a nap. Yes.
Again, it is
It
not
is-
Oh,
correct.
sorry.
Okay.
It's not correct.
It's
not
not
correct,
correct,
yes. Yes.
because we don't have to, and to, as it's part of ought to.
Good. Okay.
Expressing advice should and ought to. You need to study, so you shouldn't go out. Now, it's not good idea to go out.
To waste time.
Yes, to waste
Because you
time,
have
or
to
to go
study.
out. You have to study. So here, the idea, it's not good idea to do this. You shouldn't do this.
Yes.
You need to study. You shouldn't go out. So this is another form. So we can use should not or shouldn't. Both-
Can we use not with ought to?
No.
No.
It is
No,
wrong to
it's
use
wrong
it.
to use
Not
it.
usually used in negative.
Yes.
Ought to.
Not usually used.
Cannot be used with not.
Cannot be used in negative form.
Yes, in negative form. Now,
Also, should and ought to.
I
Ought
don't
to.
understand the assignment.
I don't understand the assignment. What should I do? So also here, I'm just question
I'm using here
Question.
should to ask a
to
question.
ask question.
What
It-
should,
it works like
what
an
can you
auxiliary.
tell me?
Yes.
What advice maybe can you
Also-
tell me? What
yes.
can I do?
Yes.
Right?
When forming
This is the
question.
message I want to tell the listener, this message.
So also here, Mr. Basil, in question, we mustn't use ought to. We must use should in question.
Yes.
And we
yes.
start with should. It's like an auxiliary. When we form a
Yes.
question in the auxiliary, we use it before the subject, and
Good.
it's the same way here.
Yes. I hope that our dear students, even in the baccalaureate, are watching
Are
us
watching
Yes,
now.
us,
because it's very
beneficial,
important.
yes.
It is very beneficial for them.
Yes.
And I promise them to repeat this, let's say, these ideas in our later seminars
them,
or
yes.
next seminars for the baccalaureate.
Yes.
Okay. What else?
Expressing advice should and ought to. You should come in to see me.
You should come.
Yes. Or
Come in. You should come in to
come
see
in to see me. Or you can
You
say
ought to
you ought to come in to
see
see me. Maybe you should come in to see me. So here we use Maybe the adverb with
Yes.
should.
Maybe you ought to.
Yes.
Here maybe is one word,
One
so
word.
it means possibly.
Possibly.
It's an adverb.
An adverb.
You ought to come in to see me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Ms.
So
Anna?
this is the idea. So we use maybe to soften the advice,
Exactly.
to take
Exactly.
it easy. So
Yes.
I'm advising you, but take it easy. Maybe it's up to you, but I'm advising you this way.
Very nice.
So maybe you ought to come.
It's up to you.
It's up to you. But this is my advice.
My
you
opinion.
can take it or leave it.
Yes.
Okay, now we have a practice. I need a book about geology to the library. How
So-
can we use should?
I need a book about geology.
How can we use should?
You should go to the library.
You should go to
You
the
should go
library.
to
Visit the library.
for
Okay.
example.
Exactly.
What about ought to?
Yes.
I need a book about geology again.
Okay, you ought to go
You
to
ought
the
to go.
to
It's
go to
almost
the
the
library.
same.
The same.
Now, I need a book about geology, maybe and should in one sentence.
Yes. Maybe you should go to the library.
Okay, again, we're softening the
Yes.
advice.
Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
Now we can express advice with had better. Had better is something like stronger than.
You have no
should,
other solution.
No
maybe?
solution.
You will face consequences. When you use had better, it means there are consequences.
Yes.
They had better go home and get some rest.
Something bad maybe will happen
No,
if you don't
look,
do this.
she's
This is
sleeping.
what you mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Something bad is going to happen. Look, she's sleeping in the meeting.
Not nice.
Not
Let's say
nice.
that.
No. So they have to face, when we use had better, it means we have bad consequences.
Okay. To express advice, also we can use had better, or we can use should or ought to.
The same meaning.
The same meaning, but as Ms. Ola said, it's stronger than
One is stronger than the other.
than
Yes.
yes, should
Yes.
and ought to. I have a headache. I should take a nap, or I ought to take a nap, or I had better
Good idea.
to
Good
take
advice.
a nap. A good
This
advice.
is what you
yes,
mean.
the same meaning. Good idea or good advice. Yes, warning.
Before we go on, Mr. Mazen, we have a call from Al-Hasaka. Good afternoon. Ahmad from Al-Hasaka. Good afternoon, Ahmad.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
I'd like to thank you because you are calling us from Al-Hasaka. This is the first time a student calls us from Al-Hasaka. Well done, Ahmad. What's your question?
I want past simple.
The past
Past
simple?
simple.
Ahmad, you are now asking us about tenses, right? And just one tense, the simple past. Okay, I'd like to explain it in short to you. When we want to talk about something yesterday, Ahmad, of course, yesterday you did a lot of things, right? What did you do yesterday? Just tell me one thing. Did you study yesterday?
Yes.
So you see, when I want to ask about the past, we use did, right? But let's say, did you play football yesterday, Ahmad?
No.
No, I didn't. So when you want to answer in the past, you say, yes, I did, or no,
I didn't.
I didn't. We always use did to ask about the past. Now, just tell me two things you did yesterday. Just two things.
No.
Tell us two things you did yesterday.
I don't understand.
You said you studied yesterday, right? What did you study?
Study science.
I studied
Yes.
Studied science.
science, you see? So we use the ed form or the ed when the verb is a regular
Verb.
So with regular verbs we use
ED.
ed, right? We add ed to the first form of the verb. Study, studied.
Hey.
Okay?
Yes.
Travel.
Now, can you give us another example? Play. I play football every week. I played football yesterday. Clear?
Hey.
Now, when we talk about another verb, of course, you eat every day, right? All of us, we eat.
For sure.
How many meals do you have a day? We eat 3 meals. You have breakfast,
Lunch.
you have lunch,
Dinner.
and you have dinner.
Sometimes
3 meals.
supper.
What did you eat in lunch yesterday, Ahmad? Did you eat fattoush, for example?
No.
What did you eat yesterday?
Salad.
Salad.
Excellent.
You say, I ate salad. So what is the past form of eat? The second form. Ate. Eat, ate, eaten. Right?
Right.
So ate here is the second form of the verb eat. So it didn't take ed. We didn't
Irregular.
add ed to the verb. So in this case we say this verb is an irregular verb.
Yes.
Irregular because it doesn't follow the main rule. The main rule, to make a past simple, you have to add ed to the verb. But some verbs don't take ed. They change
Go, for example.
in the form. So that's why we call them irregular.
Irregular, like go, went.
Go,
They are
what is
familiar.
the past form of go? Went, right? Did you go to school yesterday?
Yes.
Yes.
So say, I went to school yesterday. I went to the supermarket
Yes.
yesterday,
Last week.
last week, etc. Do you know now why we use the past simple? Ahmad, we use the past simple to talk about the present or the past?
Things that
Yes,
happened and
things
finished.
Things that happened
And
In the
finished.
past.
And finished
in the past.
Completed
in the
action.
past.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay? Is it
Okay.
clear? Thank you, Ahmad. We wish you really good luck. Thanks for your call. Goodbye. Nice call. Let's go on, Mr. Mazin.
Yes, had better. You. So the contraction of had better is he'd better. Be careful.
Yes.
His pan is on fire. Now had better is used for warning. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Mhm. Yes. You'd better quit watching TV all the day.
You mean stop.
Stop watching. Yes.
TV. Quit
yes.
here means stop.
Yes.
Watching TV all
Yes.
day. Possible bad results.
But-
If you didn't or if you don't stop,
You will.
what happens?
You eat too much.
A lot of things.
Get
Yes.
fat.
Maybe you will eat too much.
You'll hurt your
You
eyes.
will catch a cold. Maybe you will hurt your
I
eyes.
don't think if I watch TV
Too much.
all day, I'll catch a cold.
Catch a cold.
But if I watch TV, maybe
Outside.
in an open place,
Yes, maybe you catch
right?
a cold.
Not
Yes.
in the
Maybe
salon,
you will
maybe.
feel good
So
and-
I'll catch a cold. I agree with you, but not in a sofa.
Yes. You hurt your eyes for a long time, you know.
Maybe yes.
Yes. Not study enough.
Yes, of course. If I don't watch TV all the day, I won't study
You won't have
a
time to
lot or
exercise.
enough. Yes.
You won't exercise enough.
Yes.
Yes. You had better not walk there. Possible bad results. Yes. Maybe.
Miss Ula,
Yes. Ms.
Yes.
Ola.
can help us.
We
What
can
are
have-
the possible bad
We can
results
fall.
here?
We can get hurt. Get the flu again. It's not. It's irrelevant.
Yes.
We can be
Embarrassed.
embarrassed, for example, and fail a test.
Yes. Yes. Another one.
Yes.
You better stay awake in school.
You'd better stay awake in
not
school.
sleep.
Not sleep. Yes.
If you
So-
sleep, what happens?
What happened? What happened?
You miss
is that
something.
if,
You will miss something.
You will miss
first.
something. Miss something. You will get
Get
hurt.
in trouble.
Get hurt. No, it's
You
not
may
working.
fail.
You may get fail,
in the test.
You will fail
and you will get the
a
flu.
test maybe, but not get the flu.
No, you won't get the flu.
If someone
It has
sleeps.
nothing to do with sleeping. No.
Yes.
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 Thank you. Now we have another example here, and here now we are going to talk about have to, have got to, and must.
And these are important for the ninth
Yes.
grade.
Yes. So
We had a question about.
who is going to talk
Yes.
about them? Mr. Mazin,
Yes.
please. We have an example
Yes. This man has to wear just ear protection.
here. Yes.
So
Because this machine
this machine
produces
noise.
A noise.
A noise. Yes.
Yes, a big noise.
Yes. I want to become. Yes. Number 2.
Yes.
Expressing necessity.
Yes.
Have to or have got to or must. Yes. I want to become a doctor. So what should I do? I have to go to medical school. I have got to go to medical school. I must go to medical school. The same meaning. All of them express something which is necessary.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So, I
So-
need to hurry. I have to go to soccer practice.
Yes.
This is an example. Another one, it's late. We've got to go home.
Yes.
It's late, we've got to go home.
It's late, we've got to go home.
Next one, everyone.
Everyone must wear seatbelt on an airplane. But you know, as a student, some students, you know, wants the difference between have to and must. Sometimes we say that must from its obligation from you, the speaker.
So the most common one is have to.
Have to.
But here, when we use have got to,
This is
it
informal.
is used in conversation, in spoken language, but it is informal.
Exactly.
Informal.
It is
Must-
informal.
Must is usually used with written instructions.
Must.
Must.
Yes.
You must
Not
do
in
something.
spoken language.
Not in spoken language.
It is
Instructions maybe on the wall
more
or something,
common in,
warnings or
the
something.
written
You must
language,
not open
yes.
this door, for
Yes,
example.
yes, thank you.
So it can be used in written instructions.
Yes. Do you
Again,
have to wear seatbelts in your car?
Yes, I have
Yes.
to.
Yeah.
Do you have to? It's like a rule or something. Did they have to come? So with the questions we can use have to, have got to, and must.
Yes.
Again,
But not have got to in questions.
no. Have you got to?
Have to.
Have
right?
to. Yes. With the questions we use have to.
We use only have to
Have
in
to,
questions. We
yes.
don't use have got to or must in questions.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Good. We had to clean up the mess. Slide 77.
Okay. We had to clean up the mess. This is when we use have to, have got to, and must. In the past form, we use had to. So must doesn't have a past form. When we have a must in the past,
We use had to instead.
Yes.
Had to.
Yes, thank you.
Pronunciation. Some people say I have to call my mom.
I have to call my
I
mom.
have to call my mom. Jason
Has
has
to
to.
work.
It's
Yes.
everyday language, of course. We don't advise using
I've
this
got to
kind
cook
of.
dinner tonight.
I've got to. Has to. I've got to. So
Hafta,
this-
hasta, gata.
gotta.
Yes, or gata.
Yes.
Thank
So
you.
some people are accustomed
Yes.
to such kind
This
of
is how we pronounce them.
pronounce them, pronunciation.
Yes.
Now,
practice.
we have a practice,
Practice.
Mr.
Yes,
Mazin.
Ms. Ola.
Yes,
Do you help me?
yes, of course.
Do I must wash all the dishes?
I
What do you
think
think?
No, it's.
we don't
like, no,
use
no.
do with must when questioning.
I say no.
It's
I
not.
say no.
It's
Yes.
not
It's
correct.
not
It's
I agree
correct
with
at
you.
all.
Yes.
It's not correct, and you can feel that.
Yes.
When you're
Do I
talking about-
must?
Do
No,
I
it
must?
is wrong to say that.
Of course.
Okay.
Do I have?
The
yes.
second one, I will ask you this one.
Yes.
Do I have to wash all the dishes? Do I have to?
Yes, it's
Yes,
correct.
it's
We
correct.
said
It's
that
absolutely correct.
when we want to ask
We can use
in
have
questions, we use have to.
Have
So to make questions, you have to use do
Exactly.
or did.
Do you have to?
But we don't use must
to. Or
what else? Have got to.
have got to.
Have got to in
Yes.
questions.
Exactly.
We don't use them in questions. We use only have to.
Yes.
Good.
Another example, Ms. Ola. Do I have got to wash all the dishes?
Again, the same. Have go with the question? No, it's not
It's
allowed.
wrong.
It's
We
wrong.
wrong.
cannot
It's
use
wrong.
have go
It's
with the
wrong.
questions.
Not correct.
Now, we have another
Lack of necessity here.
lack
Lack
of
of
necessity.
necessity.
It's not necessary.
Yes.
It means when we want to say, it's not necessary to do this or that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Lack of necessity.
Again, an important point for the ninth grade.
So in this case, we use don't have to.
Don't have
For
to.
example, I have everything here in my house. There is no need to bring any kind of food.
Yes.
So what can I say here?
I don't
you
have
don't
to
have to
to get
bring
anything.
anything.
You just come.
Okay.
I have everything. Just come.
Okay.
Okay. So
Another example.
yes,
Tomorrow is holiday,
holiday.
so you don't have to study.
yes.
So, but if you
can
study,
You
It's
can
okay.
study.
It's okay.
It's
It
up
would
to
be
you.
okay. It's up to you.
it's up to you. Yes.
Good.
Okay.
You mustn't talk on the phone while you are driving.
Here-
Here another case,
You are
a
not
different
allowed.
one.
Forbidden.
This
Here's
is
another case.
prohibition.
So here mustn't
Is
is used to for prohibition, to express
Yes.
prohibition.
Yes.
It's
To say
forbidden to drive
this
while
is
you're
not allowed.
But you know they're doing
It is
that.
prohibited.
Yes.
They do that all the time.
For example, smoking in my room is prohibited. You mustn't smoke in my room. If you want to smoke, you can go
out.
outside.
Yes.
But here,
balcony or
it's not allowed.
It's not
Maybe.
allowed.
That's
Okay.
it.
Yes. We mustn't use the mobile while
Yes.
we are
Driving.
teaching. Yes.
Or
While
Yes, of
driving.
course. I mowed the yard yesterday.
I
I
don't,
don't
have,
have
to
to
mow
mow
this way.
it
Not necessary,
this way.
because I did that yesterday. It's
Yes.
not
So
necessary.
there is
today.
no need.
No need for that today.
I don't have to.
I don't have
Lack of necessity. To say it's not necessary.
Not necessary. You can do it.
Not
if you like
necessary.
to.
Yes, exactly.
Alisha is on vacation she doesn't have to go to work today. She's on vacation. If she likes to go on to
It's
work
up to
on
her.
vacation,
But there is
it's
no
up to
need.
her. No need. No necessity.
Not necessary.
Not necessary.
Now, what
Now-
about prohibition?
You must not swim here. It's not allowed for anyone to swim in this area, for
Because
example.
maybe it is dangerous
Maybe.
here
Yes.
to swim. So
You
you mustn't
This
swim
is
here.
prohibition. Do not do this. It's
Yes.
forbidden. Again,
Exactly.
you're not allowed to.
You mustn't, again.
You mustn't throw the trash in the garden. Again, must not. This is a contraction when we
Mustn't.
can use must with not.
So we
mustn't.
can use a short form.
And yes, but the letter T is not pronounced.
Yes,
Mustn't.
of course. Mustn't.
Okay.
Okay.
Back to you.
We have a practice now.
Yes.
We
We
cleaned the
cleaned the
house.
house this morning,
So,
so we don't have to clean the house now.
exactly, we don't have to clean the house now because we cleaned it
It's a
yesterday.
clean now.
I hope that Ala is watching us now. He asked us about how to use the simple past.
Yes.
We cleaned
We cleaned.
the house
It's clean.
this morning. This morning, it is, or it was, let's say, many hours before now.
Yes.
Right?
It's done. The job is done.
This morning. Now we are in the afternoon.
Yes.
So in the morning we did something.
It's finished and done.
Yes.
Yes.
I cooked dinner this morning.
This morning. I don't have to cook dinner tonight.
That's it.
Yes.
It's ready.
Swimming is prohibited.
Swimming is prohibited.
You mustn't swim
You
here or
mustn't-
must not.
You must not, or you mustn't swim here.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mary.
Now we can get to logical conclusions by using must.
Yes.
Must, it means you are sure about something. We are looking at a picture of two old people. They look happy.
Nice
Mary and
elderly
Artie, yes,
people,
very
by the
nice.
way. Okay.
Mary and Artie are smiling. Because they are smiling, I am
So they
sure
must be
I
happy.
can get a conclusion that they must be happy.
Here, must,
I am sure.
and I hope that our dear students in the
Baccalaureate.
baccalaureate are watching us now, because must here has a different expression,
Exactly.
which is not obligation here or let's say necessity or something like that. It is used here to express something else. For example, when I say Mazen has 3 cars,
Yes.
He must be
he
very
must
rich.
be rich.
Rich.
Very
Yes.
rich.
He must be a rich man
Yes.
because he has 3 cars.
3 cars, of
So
course.
here, must here is used
To
to
give.
conclude something,
Conclude
or to
something.
give, or to
Something
express
you are sure
a
about.
conclusion.
yes.
To say that I am sure,
I am sure
this
about
man
this
is
one.
rich.
Yes. I'm certain. I'm sure.
And here we
yes.
can use can't,
Can't.
and can't
You are
means the
sure
opposite
the
of
opposite.
must here in this sense,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Mazen
He-
has no house,
Yes.
no car,
He can't be rich.
he can't be rich.
Yes.
You see?
Of course.
Yeah. So, let's go on.
This
That
is
woman
important,
is
I think.
very funny.
Okay, that
You
one
see?
is very funny. She must be a comedian.
It means that I am sure.
I'm sure, and
She is a comedian.
she must work as a comedian actually.
Yes.
So must can be best guess or logical conclusion.
Yes.
Best guess. I'm guessing that she must be a comedian
thing, nice
because
thing.
she's very funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now to compare logical conclusion, my friends went skydiving. They must be brave. Of course, skydiving need courage. It's not something easy. Necessity. To become a scientist, you must go to college. So here we are comparing 2 uses of must.
In the
The
first,
first one-
sentence, in sentence B,
We are
must
guessing.
be brave. Here we are guessing something about
Guessing.
someone,
Conclusion.
or try to give a conclusion about about
Exactly.
something, someone. But in the second one, in sentence C, to become a scientist, you must go
You
to
must.
a college.
These are
Here
the
there is a
steps you should-
necessity.
Exactly.
There is a necessity.
The
If you don't go
procedures.
to a college, you can't become a scientist.
Of course, of course. So the first step is to go to college.
Now,
Now again, comparison, negative logical conclusion. For example, Jed smokes. He must not know that smoking is harmful.
he must.
If he knew, he wouldn't smoke. But he smokes, so he must not know that smoking is harmful. Again, prohibition.
He had no idea.
No
maybe
hi-
he has
no
no idea
idea.
about this. Yes,
This is a conclusion.
Yes.
May not be true.
but not prohibition.
No, not
Yes.
prohibition. With prohibition, we have, for example,
We
we
need
need
money.
money for the future. We must not spend it all now. So again,
Here it is not allowed,
Not
to
allowed.
spend too much.
if we spend money, we won't have money in the future.
Yes, exactly. Now we have another practice. It's a nice practice. The last slide, I think.
Yes, it is.
Necessity, prohibition, logical conclusion, negative logical
conclusion.
Good.
Jenny swims every day. She must love to swim.
Otherwise, she wouldn't swim.
Yes.
She must love to swim.
Yes.
She must love. Here, must is not used to express prohibition, dear students?
No, it's conclusion.
It is
It's
a conclusion.
A conclusion.
Because she swims every day.
We are sure.
It means that
We are
she
sure.
loves swimming.
Yes.
Because she swims every day, so
Yes.
she must love
Yes,
swimming.
I'm sure that she loves swimming.
Yes.
Because she swims every day.
Yes.
It is a conclusion,
an evidence.
but not a prohibition.
Exactly.
Yes.
Good.
Now let's
A logical conclusion.
conclusion.
Smoking is not allowed. You mustn't smoke. I think here it is a prohibition.
Prohibition.
Yes.
You must not
Prohibition.
smoke. It's not
Exactly.
allowed.
A prohibition.
It's not allowed.
Now, dear students, that's everything for today. Of course, in the activity book, you have a lot
Plenty of
of
exercises.
exercises.
You have to
can
practice,
the
yes.
language very well because you have a lot of them. We hope now that you can use different modal auxiliary verbs in the correct way. We hope that you, let's say, you don't make mistakes when you use the modal auxiliary verbs. Of course, we have another text about maybe another story in the activity book about a traveler.
Yes.
And this traveler was in one village and he wanted to
Towards
visit
a
another
different
one.
Yes.
But
It's about
it's
attitudes
very
and
easy. It's,
prejudices.
yes, exactly. But maybe we don't have enough time to tell this story now. But we hope that, of course, you have discussed this with your teacher. You have read the story at home and you know everything about it. At the end, Ms. Ula, I'd like you to give a piece of advice to our students in grade 9, how they can, let's say, study a text or read a text. Please, you have only 1 minute.
1 minute.
About reading
In
the
1
text,
minute.
not about
Reading.
modal verbs.
Reading.
Reading, well, actually they need to understand the general meaning of the text and ask themselves questions about the text so that they can get to know it, get to know the vocabulary used, and if they have difficult words, they should ask their teachers to know about that. About the modal verbs, if you excuse me, just one point, they need to practice. I liked practicing, and practicing is the only way to know that, to differentiate between the modal verbs.
Very nice. Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Ula.
you.
Mr. Mazen, now what can you tell the students when they want to write a story?
Yes.
I'm talking about writing here.
Yes.
When they want to write a story, just some pieces of advice to write a story,
Yes.
some rules to follow.
Some rules to follow. First of all, they should have a plans for the story. They should know what they are writing about. They should have
And how they start and how they finish.
They start
The events.
the events, the characters.
Yes.
They should know about the characters, and they should have the final solution, or they have to solve the problem in the end of the story.
Yes. But remember just one more thing, dear students, that even when we read a story and we want to tell a story, any story must have a lesson.
Yes.
Some
Moral
morals,
lesson.
Moral
a moral
lesson.
lesson. We should, learn something from this story
story.
or from this event
Yes.
when it happens. So please try to
Learn.
read the
Give a moral.
story and to know the purpose
Yes.
of telling this story to someone else. And when you read a story, you have to know the purpose of the story first of all. So at the end, dear students, we hope that we have discussed everything in details and everything is clear now to you.
Hopefully.
At the end of this seminar, let me, dear colleagues, dear students, thank Ms. Ula Al-Mou'i, an English supervisor from Tartus.
Thank you. It's been
I'd
a
like
pleasure.
to thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
coming from Tartus in this weather.
Thank you.
By the way, it's a nice weather now.
Yeah, very nice.
It's not a rainy weather.
But it's cold, very cold. in
Thank
here.
you. Yes, Mr. Mazen Abdul Karim, an English teacher from Damascus countryside. Thank you very much
Thank you
for your participation.
It's
You
my
have really enriched
Enriched
this
it.
seminar.
Thank you very much.
You were great. Dear students, till we meet in other seminars, we wish you all the best and goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.